welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be kind of the wrap up for our homeschool year. I'm not going to actually show you anything in this video. It's going to be more of those chit chat videos that I'm kind of known for, which means you're going to want to grab your coffee like always and let's kind of get going here. If you are new to my channel, let me kind of summarize a brief year for you. And that simply is that we moved from the deserts of California all the way to Indiana the first week in December. And we did not get our current home until March 1st-ish. So all of December, all of January, all of February, for 3 months, we kind of were limbo in where we were going to finally put our roots, for lack of a better word. So that kind of made homeschooling look a little different. It was also a year that I was really trying to figure out my kids and how I wanted to educate them insofar as our Charlotte Mason homeschool. And it meant going back to the basics with our Charlotte Mason education. Why I keep pursuing her when it doesn't work is it actually has nothing to do with how it works, how it doesn't work, what, and all of that. It actually has to do with just learning our family, and what it's going to look like long term. The Charlotte Mason method was coined so that people would understand what you were talking about. And it's kind of along the lines of Christian. You know, you say Christian and suddenly it's like, well, what does that mean? What does that look like for this church that you're going to? And suddenly you go down and it's like, oh, I'm a Baptist Christian. I'm a Lutheran Christian. I am a so on and so forth. The things out there are plentiful. And it's just how people interpreted scripture. Charlotte Mason method is similar in that. So you have your eclectic homeschoolers that follow or that are inspired by Charlotte Mason, or they take something that they like of that and then make their own. Well, so I say I follow a Charlotte Mason method. That doesn't necessarily mean I follow every single thing she says, not because I disagree with it, but because, like being a Christian, I need to grow in these areas. So maybe I don't do something right. Just like in being a Christian, I don't do everything wholly and perfectly. I'm still being worked on in that, and I'm still working on that. And being a parent, we have different seasons in our life. And I am working on that, and I am growing in that. Why? And that's why I still continue to stick by her method. Because if we went to her whole philosophy of education, I agree with it wholeheartedly. And I really want to finish our children's education with the understanding that it really does continue on from here. No matter what we have accomplished by your graduation, your education continues on for the rest of your life, which is why I am still doing what I am doing. I am still learning right along with you, even though I technically have my GED and diploma and all of that. I think I have both because I was homeschooled, and you get both. So I have all of that, but I still am learning right along with you because I'm at a different point in my life where it's more meaningful. But things that I was learning about in my childhood, in my homeschool years, were meaningful insofar as it was relatable to me. So now we have the two different sides of the coin, which is one reason why I really love homeschooling. You just get to see the beauty of learning. So back to how we're finishing. If I look at, oh my gosh, this is what we didn't accomplish, it was kind of a failure. If I look at what I had wanted to instill in my children, it'll look like a failure. But we don't take points of our life and say, I don't get dishes done every single night. I am a failure as a homemaker. We don't look at life like that. So why are we looking at our homeschool like that? And when that clicked with me, I was then seeing different things in our homeschool in a different light. I started looking at the idea of the 180 school. There was a purpose behind that when it originally began, and I don't know if it was an actual 180 days. I don't know when that specific number came into the picture, but there was a school break, usually about the time of the harvest, and it was so that the children that were part of the farm helping had that break so that they could help in a very busy season of their life, and they couldn't be spared from their duties. And that had a purpose. Now it's just so we can get a break and we can be free and all of that. But if you have that atmosphere in your home, do we really need that break? Mom needs a break, but I don't need it just at those moments in my life. I kind of need them sporadically throughout the whole year. And when I was thinking about that, I was like, I don't have children that come into my home that I educate anymore, that the parents kind of need that structure. I don't have that anymore. So why am I still trying to follow this thing in our homeschool, whatever you want to call it? Words fail me. So in that, I then approached my husband. I'm like, there's usually 1 week out of the month that I am out. Usually it's more like 2 or 3 days that I am fully out. And I was like, what if we did the whole Sabbath mood method with 3 weeks on, 1 week off? So that week I could feel like it was okay to take the break I needed. Well, then you kind of wonder, well, is that too many breaks? But if I did like a few days off, that doesn't really give me a few more days to fully plan for the next week. One reason why I want to pursue that method, and I probably will stick with 3 weeks on, 1 week off. Calendar days don't really matter right now or matter to our state. We actually have a very good homeschooling state that we're in. And in pursuing this, I was like, one of the reasons I don't plan a full year in advance is things always come up, and then you have to rewrite things, or we needed more time on this concept and we couldn't move ahead. And so, but planning every single weekend was really difficult. I couldn't always do that, and then we would start a week out with being behind because I really didn't know. And I was like, well, just pick up the books and we'll continue on where we are. And then I was like, well, why am I planning? You're planning because sometimes we would run into a thing where I'm like, ooh, I needed to get that done, and I didn't. It also holds me accountability because I'm a list maker. So these were those things that I was bouncing back and forth, and I was like, I think this would be really good in our homeschool. And then in finishing up, so kind of moving forward, this is where I'm going to go, but also in finishing up our homeschool year, I was like, oh, we didn't finish this book, and we didn't finish our history, and we didn't finish this, and I never ended up going to figuring out what we're going to do for science. And so it was like, going back to that, I feel like a failure type of thing. I was like, why do we have to stop? Just because the homeschool year ends, or catch up, or whatever it is, why do we have to stop? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Got 6 frogs.
Woo! Just make sure the frogs stay okay. We don't have to stop there.
Yeah, 6 frogs.
We don't have to stop because it's the end of the school year. We don't have to do any of that. We can continue, and some of the things that we're really enjoying, let's just continue on. And I had put this in the atmosphere, was we need to finish this up before the end of the school year. And now I'm just like, it doesn't matter. If I don't necessarily like stopping without finishing and just saying, well, okay guys, let's just do a big summary. This is what happens, and now we're finished, okay? So it really doesn't matter if I have this viewpoint. It really doesn't matter that math books weren't completed, that history wasn't completed, that narrations weren't done to the fullest extent that I had wanted them to. Like, none of that really matters. And that's freeing. That was really freeing. And so I took this week off, which is why I'm batch filming and why you have a lot of the same views right here. I did change my shirt for the video just because, give it a different look. But I took this week off. I was like, I need to figure out where we are, how we need to move forward, and what we need to do. And I'm also using this spare time to really look into what I want our homeschool to look like as a day-to-day thing. If I have too many things crammed in, even though it's beautiful and enriching and all of that, then I am going to feel like we're falling behind. We need to. So it was encouraging for myself to start looking at our homeschool differently. Many of you are out there like, duh. And trust me when I say I am a very slow learner and things take a lot of time. So, and when I say I'm a slow learner, I'm also saying that people have told me similar things and it's just now clicking. It's not like I've never been told this before. Do I have a whole beautiful display to show you what we have accomplished? No. I recently did like a whole week in our life so that you could get a full view of what we kind of accomplish every day. That's how we're going to move forward in our homeschool year. So when I'm kind of revealing our curriculum choices, this is going to take like tweaking to figure out how this is going to work the way that I want it to work. And if you are curious as to see how things are working the way that I think that they're going to work, go ahead and leave me a comment down below and I will try to do these updated videos for you because I know that several of you do enjoy them. So that's kind of what the year has been like. It has been with me getting pneumonia shortly after we began school again, getting ready to move across country, moving across country and being homeless. We had a house for 3 months, moving here, trying to adjust to this, Corona hit, and we're wrapping up our homeschool year. So we had a good character learning year. Some of the things that we learned in so much as math, science, and blah, 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 were kind of more hands-on this year. We got the opportunity to go to places like the Limberlost Forest, and I know some of you don't really fully understand what that is, but it is like a huge ecosystem type of forest that Eleanor Stratton Porter wrote about a lot and was heavily passionate for. And it was a childhood favorite book, and now I got to see it. And so we have learned a lot about frogs. That's actually what my boys are out doing right now, collecting frogs, trying to find tadpoles, trying to see how their environment is like. We have seen squirrels and have gotten to see how squirrel nests look and what they are like. We have gotten to see a variety of birds. We got to see bunny nests. I mean, these are the types of things that you can read about in books, and trust me on this, you can read about them in books. It's a whole nother world to see them in person. We are learning a different climate. So it is middle-endish of May. They're outside in jackets. That's not normal for us desert rats. So we're learning different climates and how that works. And no, I have not sat with a globe and showed position of the sun and things like that. Like, they're out there and experiencing it, and I'm like, well, we're up north and blah, and just natural learning. Those are the types of learning that is going to stick with them. It's their atmosphere, and that sparks questions, which causes us to dig deeper and learn more. We've learned that we can't just go out and plant a garden, so that was interesting. As usually by now we're, reaping our harvests, and we can't even go out and plant a garden right now. So these types of things are learning moments, and they are important to your homeschool. My daughter is trying to figure out how she wants to take her business further, and my son is looking at developing his business. One of the things you might remember from past years is that I really struggled with my son's knowing handicrafts because, well, I can teach crocheting, knitting, sewing, and all that. I don't necessarily, insofar as measuring and cutting and feeling confident in that, I don't have it. So I really struggled with that, but you know what? They have learned paracord bracelets and they're really enjoying it. They have made, actually what I'm sitting on, wooden benches for our home. And these little things, they're taking more time than I would have preferred them to take, but they're being learned, and isn't that the important thing? So, all of that to say, I hope this video is, I don't know what I hope this video is. I'm just letting you know what things are looking like and how we're gonna move forward and all of that stuff. So give me a thumbs up if you did like this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the coming weeks with curriculum reveals and all of that, and pretty much like how we're gonna have this enriching feast of ideas and all of that as simplified and beautiful as humanly possible. So if that's something that's interesting to you, so go ahead and stick around, and I will see you.